Well, hello there, super fans. We are so happy to be here with some of our dear friends. We're going to watch a video together. Oh, it's a special video. You're going to love it.
The biggest dipshit in the Trump administration, Mike Waltz, who added the journalist to the war plans on Signal, the bro group chat, the micro penis war plan committee. Well, apparently some internet sleuths have done a little sleuthing and found some interesting things on his Twitter account. Put up the first tweet. Dan Cohen tweets, if the Trump administration's Signal debacle wasn't bad enough, I found that Michael Waltz, married to Julia since 2001, follows a gay pornography account. Their personal lives are their own, but it's well known that secret sexual improprieties can be used to compromise political figures. And Waltz is one of the most powerful and sensitive positions in the U.S. government. The question must be asked, does Waltz's apparent secret lust for black males make him susceptible to blackmail? Put up the next slide. He follows an account called Big Dick Bottom. And I just want to state for the permanent record, again, I don't care what his sexual proclivities are, but I'm not a part of an administration that tries to actively demean and bully members of the LGBTQ plus community and the trans community and anybody with brown skin, anybody who might not speak English as their first language. That's what these sociopaths do. Put up the last one. And here we have Big Dick Bottoms on his, the people, verified followers that follow him, and none other than at Michael G. Waltz, congressman from Florida, colonel, retired U.S. Army Green Beret, author of, and this is a pretty interesting title, Hard Truths by Michael Waltz that follows Big Dick Bottoms. Pumps, what's your take on this?
I was being quiet.
I just want to start by one thing. I take an issue with you saying that Mike Waltz is the biggest dipshit in the administration. I think that title, it could go to so many people. I mean, we've got Pete Hegseth, we've got JD Vance, we've got Trump, we've got Elon. I just hate to give it to one person. In this particular case, he's the one that invited him. He owns that. So I'm just going to take a little bit of issue with that because we have so many candidates. But here's the deal. The people that are screaming the loudest are the biggest hypocrites. And he's supposed to be the national security advisor, which means he is tasked with our nation's security. We find out he's a complete hypocrite, which is no surprise to us. He's got his Venmo contacts online and he's sitting on Fox saying, oh, I don't know how a journalist got in my contacts, blah, blah, blah. His Venmo contacts from his phone are just tons of journalists on there. It is unbelievable that he has not been terminated, full stop. It's unbelievable.
Well, and you have Pam Bondi here, who yesterday or a couple days ago in a press conference is asked, are you going to investigate this? She immediately does what every MAGA does because they don't have an ounce of intellectual depth. And she says, well, what about Hillary Clinton's emails?
Right.
This is their go-to. Hillary Clinton, Hunter Biden, trans, gays. Well, as we start digging deep into the Trump administration, I want to point out that JD Vance wears eyeliner that is now he's starting to wing out. We're starting to see a little wing appear. And JD.
It's true. It's true. I was just noting the beautiful job he does in his eyes. It's very, very delicate, very delicate. He shows a lot of practice, not quite as delicate as mine. Mine's almost indetectable, but his is, quite delicate as well. Good job, Vance. You're doing a great job with your eyeliner. Good job with the eyeliner. Nice. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else you're doing a good job at, but the eyeliner. Yeah. I want it to be positive, try to add a message of like, yeah, you got that girl. Just everything else is just like, no, and no, and no, and no. Okay, girls, let's keep going. What else do you have to say to us? Oh.
Vance is BFFs with Peter Thiel, a gay man who is behind a lot of the movement that we're seeing in the federal government. So we have this really weird phenomenon right now where you have the oligarchs that really aren't that religious, but they want to dismantle democracy big time. And then you also have the Project 2025 religious fanatics that want to dismantle democracy. And we see them as being bedfellows right now. And I think in the Trump administration, you have a lot of latent homosexuals, latent bisexuals that hate themselves for what they're attracted to. I think it starts with J.D. Vance. And when he went out to Peter Thiel's place in Silicon Valley and comes back queer-eyed, he comes back as yassified as all get out. And literally, we are one news cycle away from him popping a smoky eye. I mean, it keeps getting closer and closer. We have the wing now. I think you have Moses Mike Johnson, who is the biggest closet case I've ever seen in my life, who lives with another closet case, who answers the door in his panties to let Mike Johnson in. This was witnessed by all of the neighbors. Mike Johnson is the most outspoken person on homosexuality. And it's always these big Christian guys, these big Republican Christian guys that get their panties in a wad about gay men being liberated enough and brave enough to come out of the closet to have shame-free, joyful gay sex. And these MAGA men are so jealous of that. So what do? They try to destroy it on a public stage. But privately, we're following big dick bottoms.
Right. And just to remind everyone, the Republicans, not the Democrats, crashed Grindr 2 times during the Republican National Convention, because all of these people that are, we hate homosexuals, it's terrible, they're out on Grindr. And how many people do we know, gay men that are on Grindr, that see married men that are yah Christians all over their Grindr pages?
It's infinite. And I think what my opinion is, this problem that we're having with men right now coincides with porn being so accessible online. And for a lot of people, Americans that have grown up in purity culture and have been indoctrinated into this evangelical or shameful world of sex being shameful in Christianity, they see porn and then they immediately feel guilty about it. But maybe a lot of these people, a lot of these Republican men, when they are watching porn, they're kind of more turned on by the male. Big deal. Nobody gives a shit. You saw a hard cock. You liked it. I can relate to that as a straight woman.
Right.
I get it. I don't care. I'm not trying to legislate morality nor shame people for what their kinks are. But the Republican Party and MAGA is so sex obsessed. And they're,
oh my goodness, they're so sex obsessed. Honestly, paper fans, I was actually living in Arkansas for a few months. I was in Arkansas the year that your lovely new administration was elected for the first time. Oh, it was shocking. It was shocking. But what was happening in Arkansas? Every day when I turned on the news, they would be talking about Canada, which is, my homeland. Like, oh, Canada, what are they talking about today? The abomination up in Canada where they're forcing transsexual rights onto their entire population. That is twisted. That is twisted. Not the news. The way you freaking twisted the news. They were fear-mongering. What was happening in Canada in 2016 at the time was we were tightening up the legislation to make sure that human rights were being guaranteed to all humans. That's what was happening. Even trans, even disabled, all humans, even women. Women were declared persons in Canada. I think it was 1929. And they still are. We're all persons. We are all persons. All humans are allowed to be humans in Canada. That's something we're very proud of. And they are in America as well, but they need to be. They need to all be welcome to be human. When it doesn't happen, it goes very, very wrong.
they're so obsessed with the brave members of the LGBTQ plus community that are brave enough to come out with all of these idiots that try to claim moral superiority over them, that then on the side are, following big gay bottoms. Or we have Ted Cruz, who's following porn accounts and liking them on the 9/11 anniversary. That happened a few years ago. And when you try to start legislating sexuality and legislating morality, you forfeit being a democracy and you turn into a theocracy. And this is what the oligarchs and the right-wing Christians have in common. They want to destroy democracy. The oligarchs know the easiest way to control people is through religion. And guess who else knows that? Vladimir Putin. so they can get the brainwashed, indoctrinated, crazy Christians in America and indoctrinate them. And I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. America's biggest problem is the crazy Christian problem. We have a large portion of our population that are crazy Christians that are adverse to critical thinking, that cannot understand nuanced thoughts or beliefs.
Yeah, there's the aversion to nuanced thinking. Honestly, there's a polarized us versus them thing happening in very many the evangelical style churches where they're preaching that we are good and we have the answers. They're wrong. They are evil. They are bad. Christians are good. With Christ, we're good. Without Christ, we're evil. That's a traumatized response. When you're traumatized, it may feel like you're evil because of the dark energy you get triggered into. And then you get, when we love and belong and feel our love and acceptance at church, that feels good and it pulls us out of our negative, evil energy. But we know in 2025 that evil is just a concept of Bronze Age understandings of psychology that's not really a thing. We understand psychology better now that it's not spiritual warfare, it's trauma, and traumatized people really do traumatize others. The trauma energy gets stuck in your body, and there's churches out there that are fear-mongering. If your church is preaching that others are evil, this is a belief that has destroyed generations. It has allowed conquistadors to come over and say, you're evil, I'm taking this, because you're not worth anything. We did it here in Canada. Here in Canada, we called it the 60 scoop. They came in, they scooped up innocent, beautiful Indigenous children, removed them from their families, treated them with absolute cruelty. So much cruelty that many innocent, beautiful children died of cruelty. They died of cruelty, of emotional cruelty here in Canada by nuns. Mostly by Roman Catholic nuns. And the government of Canada was complicit. But that is happening very much in the U.S. There is a polarized idea. There was this misinformation that they were aborting the babies at 9 months. No one was aborting the babies. Oh, there was just so much. I mean, aborting fetuses before they've come into the air, yes, and very little tiny fetuses where they're very, very young and immature. I believe in spirit. I really do think spirit doesn't get killed. You save that baby from an unwanted life. You're saving a traumatized human. Unwanted babies do not work out well. Look at Vance. Look at the mental health of that man. Not good. Not good at all. Okay, I'll let the ladies keep going. Keep going, ladies.
And this is at the epicenter of Trump's movement.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the cruelty that they choose to take from the Bible versus all of the things that Bernie Sanders says, help the poor.
We are meant to love each other. We are meant to love each other. Jesus loved each other. He loved the prostitutes. He was with all of them. He didn't say push your values onto others.
Give everybody
Bernie
health.
Sanders is an atheist Jew.
Right. But I'm saying
right. And there's this false idea that morality comes from the Bible. It does not. It does not. Look at Bernie Sanders. I think there's lots of people who would recognize that man has a very good morality. And by that, I mean an understanding and a concern for others, a concern for the meek, wanting people not to suffer, wanting to help people to not be homeless, wanting to help people who have a body to have health care for that body. Oh, everyone has a body. Oh, that's right. Even if they're totally down on their luck, even if they come from a home where there was no financial resources to give them some kind of support, even then, they still have a body and they still need medical health coverage. And up in Canada, we think we all deserve it. Like, yeah, give it to everyone. Of course, we should all have it. Of course we should. And why should it bankrupt someone when you need it if you don't? Oh, my heavens. Yes. Yes. Oh, my heavens. We that's one thing we cannot understand, the lack of desire to have one-payer healthcare. Share the wealth. Why are we so greedy that you can't share the wealth? Oh, my heavens. And now the ones who need it the most will suffer. Oh, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense.
Bible, it's feed the poor. Help the sick, feed the poor.
Right.
Don't judge anybody, blah, blah, blah. They take all of the crazy.
Right. Feed the poor. Don't judge. They're firing veterans. veterans who served their country and now are trying to serve their country through actual work, being fired from their jobs so they can't even support themselves or their families. Veterans who devoted their lives to the United States, fired in mass. It's lunacy. You can't imagine what it's like hearing this from the outside. Like, what? America was the richest country in the world. Why are they not giving freedoms and rights to all their people? Why are so many people struggling? It makes no sense. Well, it does when you look at the numbers. Oh my goodness, the billionaires coming out of America. The money's rising to the top, and the money at the bottom is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and has nothing to do with your neighbors and nothing to do with tariffs. Oh, and the gaslighting that other countries are taking advantage of us. Oh my gosh, there's just so much. Okay, keep going, ladies.
Mean, cruel stuff. And that becomes their life mantra. And now their political views in this Project 2025, which if you go down the list, Project 2025, and the first, 9-10 weeks of the Trump administration, check, 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 check. So this is a pattern of behavior to control people, to take these people that aren't unable to critically think, that are indoctrinated to grift, that are
so much blind faith. Told you must have the blind faith of a child. I'm an ex-evangelical. I really do believe in the love and the conditioning. The joy and the forgiveness. And I think it's wonderful we evolved to share empathy. We humans, we are pack animals, and we did evolve to share empathy, and we're meant to go to each other and share our problems. Like, oh, this is happening for me, with our brothers and our sisters and our non-binary folks. And they listen to our problems and they feel with us in our problems. Oh, I'm sorry. And then they speak encouraging words to us. Oh, Father, Lord, here, little Doreen's broken heart. Oh, Doreen's having a hard time. That's giving her, letting her be seen and understood in her experience. Oh, little Doreen feel better. Let her feel better. Oh, we care for Doreen, Lord. Let her pull that pain away from her. Shine your light on her. That's that care and loving, that we've evolved to do that. We've evolved to do that, but a lot of people forgot. A lot of people don't do it in their lives. They don't know how to love each other. They don't know how to love their neighbors. They go to church and they learn how to love their neighbors at church. But then they go to a traumatized church who says, no, it's just for here. We just love each other here, not out there. Oh, no. There's dangerous. Oh, there's bad, dangerous. Oh, that is fear-mongering, and that is trauma. And they are traumatizing their people, saying, no, you're not. It's dangerous out there. You cannot trust the news. The news is fake. The news is not fake. The Fox News is fake. They even argue in court that they're fake. Oh, heavens. What a mess they've made. Okay, ladies, back to you.
Indoctrinated to keep secrets and say, well, I can do all this bad stuff, but I asked Jesus for forgiveness and I'm fine.
Oh, right. The end justifies the means. Oh, no, it doesn't. I was hearing that about electing that mentally ill convict. He's a convict. He's a felon. He's a pathological liar. He lies verifiably 21 times a day. And he was elected by people who were looking the other way, who were told, no, he's going to do good things. You cannot trust someone who lies 21 times a day to do the good things he's promised, because he lies 21 times a day. What reality are these people living in? Well, I'll tell you, they're living in an alternate reality. We are talking about narcissistic abuse on a large scale. The entire American public has been narcissistically abused by this leader, by this man who is constantly gaslighting. Canada's been very bad to us. They have a trade deficit of $200 billion, blah, 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 lies. I mean, by the government numbers of America and Canada, the trade surplus is much less than that. But the surplus, all it means is that you buy more oil from us. And it just means there's more selling that way than that way. If we didn't sell you oil, then it would not be a trade surplus. But the other point of that is, do you realize America is 10 times bigger than Canada when it comes to the population? 1/10 the population is likely not going to purchase the same amount from their neighbor as the neighbor who is 10 times bigger. That's a much, much bigger market. That would cause a trade surplus just because they're 10 times bigger, right? But it's actually not a 10 times bigger trade surplus. It's a little tiny bit bigger trade surplus, like 45 billion or something. And it's the oil. It's the oil. You don't want our affordable oil? Okay, get it from much further away. It was gaslighting that we're being mistreated by our best friends. It's isolation. It is narcissistic tactics, turning tables, twisting, creating a false reality. And a lot of churches, frankly, created a false reality for their people, saying that, things are dangerous out there. They weren't. The news is lying to you. They weren't. Most of the news wasn't lying to you. Yes, Trump was lying to you. And yes, there's biases here and there. But places like CBC, they are telling us the truth. And now we have to go to places like Midas Touch and IHIP News. That these two ladies are fabulous. Aren't they fabulous? I'm really enjoying this. Okay, keep going, IHIP News.
I think we would be intellectually remiss not to point out that historically, Christianity has been a very cruel religion. If anybody who studies history and studies what Christians have done, it has been a very cruel movement.
Now, I want to say I am pro-Christian. I am not anti-Christian. I think we should all love each other. And I think that churches that preach love and treating thy neighbor as thyself and forgiveness skills like Jesus, teaching the skills of Jesus, I think those churches are good. They bring us together. They promote love and acceptance. But they need to be promoting acceptance and recognizing we are not the only truth. That is narcissistic. That is narcissistic. We are the only way to God. God is in all of us. God is in me. God is in you. When two or more are gathered, the reason there needs to be two or more, it's because it's the God in me connecting with the God in you. It's the Spirit. It's that light inside us that connects, and we're better together. We're meant to be better together, and we're meant to lean on each other. And there's an individualistic society going on right now where people are supposed to be strong alone, and it does not work. When you're too strong alone, you become narcissistic. You decide you don't need others. It's like, oh, if I don't need others, I guess I'm better than them. It causes division. We are equal. We're just a bunch of pack animals. We're all a part of nature. And we exist in diversity. It's okay. Of course we exist in diversity. We're supposed to exist in diversity. Adam and Eve didn't mean there was only Adam and Eve. They didn't say, and there's nothing else. Nature exists in diversity, and it does for humans like it does everywhere else. Oh my heavens, the fear-mongering. It's like a twist and bait, Oh my. And they believe their own lies when they're speaking them. That's why they're so convincing. I know, I'm a recovering narcissist. I used to believe my own things. Oh, I still do sometimes. I get triggered into, and then I believe my own lies I'm telling myself. But I've learned to come back out of it. I'm like, I was lying to myself. Come back, Doreen. Calm down. Let's press play.
It is only recently that we have this where we really lean into helping the poor, helping the sick. I mean, slavery was justified by Christianity. Look at the Crusades. So religions in general have been big facilitators of war, hate, prejudice, misogyny, and all of the things. And so I think that what we see is the base of MAGA and the base of these evangelical Christians are still in the same line of what Christianity has always been historically. And then you have the Christian light people right now that really focus on some of the kind things that Jesus said, and we're only putting all of our chips in on that. And Noah probably didn't get on the ark, and Jonah probably didn't live in the whale.
It's a really good book, but it's 2,000 years old, and some of the metaphors and ideas have changed a little. And it was based on society then. And some things have changed a little. Things have changed a little bit. And it was reflecting the culture norms then. Some things have changed a little. Our understanding of psychology has actually improved. Surprise! We understand it more now. And let me press play.
Whale. And that's a bridge to people who then can say, all of that is probably bullshit. And yes, I can look to the fictional character Jesus Christ in the Bible to being inspiration. But It's important when we talk about religion that we historically get it right. It has been a very cruel religion that has started a lot of wars and justified very horrible things, particularly in this country, the South.
It's caused a lot of individual problems too. And I know it's caused an awful lot of problems to the LGBTQIA+ community. Don't let me forget 2S, honest to goodness, the two-spirited folks. It's the self-denial, the self-punishment, and learning to hide. We're watching what's going on there. When you learn to hide because you're dealing with something like sexuality that's being refused by others or being told that it's not okay, you're learning to hide. Do you understand what's happening in that scenario? You're learning to hide your true experience from others, which means you're sharing a facade with others. Oh, yes, I'm straight, and I'm leading this life, and I'm having this experience. That facade is actually one of the traits of narcissism, right? Because in narcissism, you lose track with yourself. You get so concerned about how you look to others that you sort of forget who you are. And now everything you're doing is just for how you look to others. Now, it's hard to imagine because someone like Trump is so oblivious to how they appear to others. But it's that self-focus we see. It's such an extreme. The train just ran away. I'm going to press play.
Were all the Bible thumpers that justified slavery, segregation, and so on. And
justifying. Yes, yeah, they did justify slavery, and then they justified not slavery. It can be used for a lot of different things. It's a little too interpretable. That's why we need to carry the good and love and kindness out of it, and leave the stoning of the prostitute to other times. We have other ways to deal with prostitutes. We don't stone them anymore. We don't, because they're just people. They're just people just like us. We are all just pack animals, honestly. Let's keep going.
These are still the people today, the descendants of these people that are now clutching their pearls about DEI. This is the lineage of those people.
Absolutely. And now they're trying to make their Christian views laws about other people.
Which is why we left the UK.
Exactly. Have you never studied the American Revolution?
All the crazy Christians came here, and America has a crazy Christian problem, and people don't want to talk about it. And
Canada does too, but it's much smaller. But we oh my goodness.
People here, when that's called out, well, no, they're not real Christians, or I'm a real Christian, and Jesus this and Jesus that. It's all a problem within Christianity, and until that is reconciled within that faith, it's going to persist. And politicians don't want to talk about it because they're fearful that they will lose voters. And there's always this deference given to religious people that in any other world wouldn't be given. If somebody was saying crazy shit like the earth is flat, people don't give them deference. The Bible says the earth is flat. It got that wrong. And we still, as a nation, in the year 2025, give anybody who claims that they are Christian deference. And that's why you've got all of these closet cases from Mike Waltz to Mike Johnson, among many others who are complete closet cases.
It's so bad for your mental health to be in the closet. It really, really is. And now we're seeing all these mental health issues being carried out onto others. Oh, dear.
And it's their core or fanatic religious whack jobs that are so miserable that they can't have shame-free gay sex, that they want to make sure nobody else can have shame-free gay sex.
Right. And we've been saying it. It's our opinion, but it proves to be true over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that the core of this is a lot of Freudian latent homosexuality and bisexuality. Okay, viewers, we're trying to get to 1 million subs. Please subscribe and stick with us for more juicy detail.
Oh, that was good. Wasn't that good? Didn't we enjoy that? Oh, wow. You guys are fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us today. I just wanted to make sure we covered some of the bases of what's going on in the world. What a ridiculous world. But, in the end, we can only create our own little bubble. We need to create our own little bubble of safety and happy and love and joy. So use your boundaries, bring in those people and closer to your life and nurture those relationships that are life-giving for you. And build in things in your day that bring you joy, that bring you life. When we fill our own cup, we have more to give to others, and we can overflow with our neighbors and friends. And you know what? Talk to strangers. It's good for us. It really is. Studies show talking to strangers. People who do that are happier than people who don't talk to strangers. Why do you think that is? I think it's trust. I think it's because it's every time we talk to a stranger, most of the time, well, here in Toronto, most of the time it goes well. We think we're going to bug them, but most people enjoy being talked with a new person. And then it's another experience of trust and another experience of trust and another experience of trust. We need to do those because we have so much of the opposite and we're so hyper aware of what's happening all around the world. Thanks for watching.